Welcome to the spookiest season of all, and a very special episode of Rowan and Pine. We wanted to do something new for Spooktober this year, and that means you, our lovely listener, get some extra content. We'll have a few shorter episodes being released on Saturdays throughout the month. So for episode 2 of Pinecones, we wanted to explore some captivating stories from ye olden days gone by. I'm your host Niamh, and today we're going to delve into the creepy fable of Stingy Jack. It's a tale that has its roots in 19th century Dublin and is apparently the origin of that iconic Halloween image, the jack-o'-lantern. That name initially referred to the natural phenomenon of ignis fatuus, the flickering marsh lights, also known as will-o'-the-wisp, that appear over bogs and can often lead travellers astray. These days, when Halloween is in the air, people across the Western world carve frightening faces into pumpkins, lighting them from within to ward off evil spirits, maybe even to protect against the clever and cunning Stingy Jack. So you can pause right here, make yourself an autumnal drink, get under that cozy blanket and light your favourite scented candle, because it's time for a tale. Our story was first documented in the 1836 Dublin Penny Journal. Imagine flickering gas lamps, cobblestone streets, an air of gloom and British occupation lurking over the city. Just like nowadays, people loved stories. The story was old, apparently, even then, and it has since become an enduring legend associated with Halloween. Long ago, in a small village, lived a drunkard named Stingy Jack. He wasn't held in very high regard by the townsfolk. Stingy Jack, whose real name has been lost to the sands of time, is sometimes recounted as a farmer, sometimes a blacksmith, but always a man known far and wide for his cunning and miserly ways. He was the type of fellow who would complain over the price of a pint, start a fight so he would never have to buy a round, and he always sought to get the better end of any deal, tricking people out of their money and goods whenever he could. Such was his trickery that the greatest trickster of them all, the devil himself, got to hear about Jack, and he decided to pay him a visit. One fateful evening, after the sun had dipped below the horizon and the moonlight took its place, Jack found himself, as usual, drunkenly wandering between pubs in search of another drink. He didn't quite make it to the next one when he happened upon a body face down in the road. Jack's conscience, broken as it was, couldn't quite let him pass a stranger in need. So he turned the poor soul over, only to find an eerie grimace on its face. Jack's heart almost stopped, because he knew right away that he was looking upon the devil himself. He realised that this must mean the time had come, his end was near. Satan had finally come to collect his malevolent soul and bring it straight to hell. He panicked, thinking on his feet as the stranger rose. He begged and pleaded with the devil to allow him one final drink before surrendering to his eternal damnation, and he invited the devil along. Jack drank with the devil. He complimented him, flattered him. "You're a shapeshifter," he said. "You can transform into anything, can't you?"
"Easily,"
said the devil, and he transformed into a cat, and then again into a dog. This gave our Jack an idea. "But can you transform yourself into metal? A coin, perhaps?" said Jack. "For I have no money to pay this tab." No sooner had he said it than a shiny silver coin appeared on the table. Jack took the coin, turning it over in his hands, awed that it had actually worked. But he stopped just before he paid for his drink. He slipped the coin into his pocket where a crucifix was kept, and he held the metals close together. The devil howled in rage, the coin burning, and sensed that Jack had tricked him. He demanded to be released. Jack, however, was ready for a bargain. "How about we make a deal?" he said to the devil, knowing the cross had him trapped. "I'll release you from this coin, and in return, you'll promise to grant me 10 years to change my ways." The devil, enraged but unable to resist Jack's proposition, agreed. Triumphant, Jack went back to his life, but the ordeal made no real difference. He continued his selfish ways, living a life of indulgence and vice and greed. Seasons passed, and it was Halloween when Jack once again found himself on his way to that same pub. He stopped in his tracks when he happened upon another old man, slumped on the side of the road. Bracing for the worst, he looked at the elder's face, but it was normal. Jack sighed in relief and helped the man to his feet, offering him assistance. However, all the old man needed was a drink of water, so Jack led him to the nearest stream. His thirst quenched, a transformation once again happened. This time, the old man was actually revealed to be an angel in disguise, and he was so grateful at Jack's kindness that he granted him 3 wishes. Ever the trickster, for his first wish, Jack wished that anyone who sat in his chair from that moment on would be stuck to the spot. For his second wish, he wished that anyone who cut a branch from his own sycamore tree from then on would be stuck to the spot. For his third wish, he wished that anyone who used any of his tools from that moment on would be, can you guess? That's right, stuck to the spot. Upon hearing these 3 wishes, the angel quickly realized that Jack actually wasn't such a kind stranger as he'd initially thought. So he decided quietly, then and there, that while he would grant the wishes, Jack would not be allowed into heaven when his time came. Before long, the devil's decade came to a close. Jack once again encountered him on a country road, recognizing him immediately. Panicked and desperate, Jack pleaded for one last favour: to eat an apple from a nearby tree before going to hell. The devil, perhaps feeling a modicum of sympathy, maybe just open to another bargain, consented. The devil climbed the tree, but as he reached for the apple, Jack carved a cross into the bark, effectively trapping the devil once more. In yet another bargain, Jack proposed that the devil couldn't come down until he swore he would never ever claim Jack's soul. Once again desperate, and once again matched in trickery, the devil agreed. Now, you'd think that being given another chance would teach Jack to become better, but the years passed, Jack grew old and weary, and he never did change his ways. He was still a trickster. He still argued and fought and drank to oblivion. He never learned to pay for a drink. He never made friends. He never made amends to those that he hurt. But eventually, he died. His soul wandered up to heaven, but he wasn't welcome there because the angel, the one that he helped, the angel remembered him. And so he was sent down to hell instead, but the devil had made a promise. He wouldn't allow Jack into hell, but knowing that Jack now had nowhere to go, the devil gave him a lump of burning coal from the bowels of the inferno itself, so that Jack would have a light to guide him through the darkness of wandering the earth for eternity. So, how do we get to the lantern? Well, Jack couldn't exactly carry the burning ember of hell around in his bare hands, so he actually hollowed out a turnip, placing the coal inside to use the turnip as a lantern. He became known to those who saw him wander the earth when the veil between existence is thin as Jack of the Lantern, which became Jack-o'-lantern. Those who emigrated from Ireland to America brought that tradition with them, honouring Jack, or possibly warding him off. And the turnip became a pumpkin, and the Halloween symbol was born. To this day, Jack uses his lantern to light his way as he wanders, trapped between 2 worlds until the end of days. And there you have it, the eerie tale of Stingy Jack and the origin of the lights you see lining porches and windowsills every October. Hopefully next time you see one, you'll remember the story, and more importantly, the karmic lesson that even the cunning and selfish among us might just find themselves outwitted by fate in the end. Thanks for joining me on this journey into folklore. If you enjoyed the episode, please let us know. Subscribe, rate, and or leave a review. And don't forget to share this podcast on your socials. Tag us in anything. And fuck yeah, folklore. Until next time.